Horsey, the son of Honor Code, who earned over $2 million in just 11 starts, is here and ready to do business. Horsey is here to do business. Horsey is here to do business.
All right. So we're back at this thing again, man. Platform is back and we're back in large and in charge. You know what? We're not going to take too long. We got a very interesting guest tonight. And, I'm really excited because of all the guests I've had, I've never had a guest that is so free, so open and ready to go. So without no delay, let's bring to the platform my man, Louis Mattina. He's a horse enthusiast. That's how you say it, Louis. He's smiling back there. So let's bring him on stage and let's hear all about Louis and his involvement in horse racing over the years. Welcome to the platform, Louis.
Hey, Derek. This is an honor. Thank you so much for having me this evening.
Hey, look, man, it's my honor to have you on, to be honest, because, you've got some knowledge in horse racing and, you're willing to spill the beans a little bit and let's talk freely about horse racing like we like to do,
Yeah, absolutely. And, I'm just putting it out there now, everyone. I'm no expert. I am just a very passionate person when it comes to horses, and it started as a very young age. And we'll just see. We'll just talk candidly tonight and have a great time.
Hey, look, first and foremost, before we get started, I just want to say big up Ian. Ian's already saying big up, but I say big up, Ian. You're the man. For more reasons than one. We all know why. Between Louis and I, right? So
yes, absolutely.
That's right. So first of all, Louis is a horse enthusiast. He loves the races and he loves the thoroughbreds. And over the years, he's got many stories and he's seen a lot of stuff. And just like me, and we like talking about the horses. And we love to discuss it. So Louis, let's go right back to how you got started with the horses.
Okay, well, it goes back to a long way in the 70s. My father was a horse player, and at a very young age, I was just enamored when he used to take me to Woodbine. I used to walk through the gates, and the old guy there was racing form. Get your racing form, And back there, those days, it had the flavor of the 70s. I grew up in the 70s, right? So he knew a trainer, John Sinelli, who a lot of people probably know. He was very popular back then, and his family. And my dad took me up to King City, Derek, and it was the first time. I never forget it. It between the barn and the fencing, on a real misty King City day, came this horse out of the fog towards our car. And John was there with my dad, and I was 10 years old, had to be about 9, 10 years old. And his name was Windy Flyer, this horse, black stallion, unbelievable. This presence, I was hooked. To be that close to a thoroughbred, that close, and seeing that with a rider on top was just blew my mind as a young boy, and it went on from there. It just went on from there.
So from that day, that your life was changed.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, wow, man.
Yeah.
Horses are magnificent. They're majestic, and to be honest, once you get close to them, it's almost like a feeling like you've never felt before, quite honestly. I remember mine. Yeah. And that was like many, many years ago. And just being so close to these animals, it really takes the breath away.
Yeah, it was. And, and going to the races and feeding sugar cubes to the outriders' horses at the old Woodbine paddock, when they used to have that. And running up and down the fence with a program in my hand, hitting my thigh while I was running, picking up $2 tickets. Oh, everybody remembers those. My age, anyways. You young people, like $2 tickets. What do you mean? They were scattered on the floor. And yeah, it was really something. And then I started watching the big races in the States, the big American races that were on CBS. And the one that really stuck to me was at first was the Ruffian Foolish Pleasure match race in '75. And I was 10 years old. And I remember I had a tape recorder, and you would press record and play at the same time. And I had a microphone, and I put it over the knob of the television in 1975. And I would actually tape those races, Triple Crown races, on a cassette. You're probably too young for that, Derek, but uh, but that was my mom was like, "What are you doing?" And I'm like, "I'm taping the race." And she's like, "Oh, like your father." You know what I
Ah,
mean? And I said, "Well, I didn't know that saying, the apple doesn't fall far from the tree, right?" So,
that's right.
but
That's right, man. You
but
know,
Kurt Gowdy called that race, and I watch it on YouTube now, and it's nice, but it's not the same as when I originally remember where I was, what rec room I was in. It's just the love and just amazing experience as a young boy. Like these were superstars to me. These horses were superstars, and I just consider them that. I don't know what it was. It's just a spirit of them just came into my soul, Derek. So.
horses got a way of doing that to you. And we talked about this sometime, I think yesterday or something. But
Mhm.
they always say, don't fall in love with the horses. But
Yes.
there's just some horses that you just can't help but love them. And
Yes.
I guess for you, that initial interaction with your first horse, and then getting close up to even closer now to horses, it does something really, really special to you. For me, it has. I haven't been
Yeah.
around horses this much ever until lately, over the last
Yeah.
year or so.
Yeah. But yeah, well, we had my in-laws back in the day in the '90s, early 2000s. We had a horse called Sweet Marie, and I got really close to her. She was the first filly born from the mare that my in-laws had, and the mare had 5 boys, and finally, as Italians, we got the girl. So
Finally.
yeah, so the uncle kept the horse and raced her, and had a trainer around the area in St. Catharines train the horse for us. And I watched her grow. I watched the first treadmill in the arena she went on. I stood there, talked to her, and I just got so close. And then Patrick rode her first time, Patrick Husbands, and he stuck with her. And from a small trainer and a small owner, Patrick was so dedicated and really wanted Sweet Marie to win. And he stuck with the train. He could have jumped on other horses. And that's what I respected about him so much. And to this day is just, he just was so real and said, "No, I want you guys to be successful with this filly, because she's a good filly." So excuse me for a second. I just shut a call off. Yeah. So anyways, she had, on her 11th start, she had a mishap in the stretch. She was in the lead to break her maiden, and the whole family was there. First time in 11 starts. We finally had the whole family, in-laws, my family, everything. And then next thing you know, I stood there on the stairs, and had to be alone, and I was just screaming, "Come on, sweetie. Come on, sweetie. You're going to do it. You're going to do it." And all of a sudden, I just saw the silks fall. They just fell. And I ran pouring off into the track. And I heard a security guard say to me, "Where are you going? Where are you going?" And I just tore onto the track. And he my brother said too, he says his horses were running by me. I don't even remember. And I just remember that I ran past Patrick. He was laying there, and I just ran past him, and I went, oh my God. I go, Patrick, and I turned around and I go, you okay? And he's like, yeah, I'm okay. I'm okay. I said, okay, the ambulance is coming to you. Just stay still, man. Stay still. And I ran to Sweet Marie, and and she's laying there. She's like, and I laid on my knees. I put her head on my lap, and nobody was around. And I was just patting her, saying, it's going to be okay. It's going to be okay, baby. It's going to be okay. Sorry, just get a little emotional here. And then next thing you know, I saw 3 gentlemen over me, and they're like, we got to put her down. We got to put her down. And I said, no, what's wrong? There's nothing wrong. She's fine. And they're like, no, look. And then her pasture bone snapped and went through her skin. And then my uncle and the trainer came out and stood over her, and they were in shock. We were just all in tears and just couldn't believe it. And yeah, it was really a day. We just walked back, and everybody stood there in shock, Derek. And it was just a something I never experienced in losing, human or an animal at that close. Took a lot out of you. And I'll tell you, for a year, I took every horse picture off my wall in the basement. I took every picture. I had nothing. I didn't want to see any races. I didn't watch any American races, Canadian races. I didn't go to Woodbine. I couldn't deal with it. It was mourning. It was a grieving, hard grief to lose her. And after that, I said, it's a year. You got to get back in the saddle. Got to get back on top. Got to get back on that. And got back in and just slowly got back into it. And then I started meeting other people in the industry. A good friend of mine, Tom Boyce, who was a farm manager for Brian Cullen in St. Catharines. He ran his farm, and I got friended with him. And what a gentleman he was. Him and his wife, Maura, they meant the world to me. Just miss him. Great Irishman, took me on horse vans to Kentucky. He took Brian Cullen's mares down and let me drive the horse van because I was a truck driver. So I was blessed, to be that close, to the industry and meet some fantastic people in my growing it was in my 30s then, right? So I was growing as a man, as a person, and to be able to have these opportunities to go to big farms in Kentucky and see breeding. He took me to Northview, and we went down.
Whatever happened to him?
Tom's passed away.
Well, the reason why I asked is because I saw you got a little bit emotional there just now, so I had to ask, right?
Yeah, Tom's in St. Catharines, buried a beautiful place with his wife, and his daughter, actually, Helen, is the broodmare manager at National Stud in Ireland. She took after her father's steps, and she's working there now, and she's a great lady too. And I always tell people, if you ever go in Ireland, go to the National Stud and ask for Helen. Tell them Louis sent you. So,
I want to peel back a little bit and
Sure.
Ask you about Sweet Marie, and I want to ask you now, as a horseman, someone involved in racing, and we all love the sport. Do you think, or can we accept that having a horse come down and get injured is part of the sport? Can we do that, or is it something that sometimes we get all these people that they have their own reasons why they protest and say stuff about the races and stuff like that, but can we accept that, or it's just like any athlete, I guess? Is it?
Yeah.
Is that fair to say?
Yeah, it is fair to say. It's part of the game. It's something you don't want to see, and you don't think it's going to happen to your horse, but it does happen, and it's an unfortunate thing. but you're talking at a big frame animal, big weight landing on those small little legs at high speeds. You know, there's going to be tendons blown, and there's going to be shins that are going to, burn, and there's going to be things that are going to happen. It's like any injury. You know, Derek, I've had friends that have had unfortunate accidents just walking on the street,
That's
crossing
right.
a street. Somebody's not paying attention and buying. It's unfortunate. It's life. It's life. The game's been around for since what, 1800s.
Mhm.
Early 1800s. So um, if the game was really that bad, then it would have disbanded years and years and years and years ago. It provides a lot of income for people. It provides it's an industry. It's worth billions. You know what I mean? It provides taxes, everything else. So they can't just shut racing down. You can make it smaller. You can tighten up the rules of certain things, but you got to. It's a sport, and it's. I don't like to look at it as stocks. They're stock. Cattle is stock. You can get close to cows too. You can get close to calves. You know what I mean? And so it's just everybody's going to protest against something, whether,
Right.
the kids are taught certain something in school and you don't like it as a parent, or, you know what I'm
It's
saying? It's
happening
just,
right now, man. I
yeah,
mean, like right now, so many different things are happening all over the world. I mean, to
yeah,
be honest, like right now in the schools, the kids and the teachers and the different
yeah,
rights and all. It's a different world right now. So
yeah, yeah, it is. And, I'm so blessed that my daughter's 31 now and she's not being raised in that, with the way it is now, you know what I mean? She was born in the 90s, which was a little different. It was way before cell phones, I think so, just before cell phones came in. So, computers and all that stuff. So, but no, I'm just happy that to go through what we're going through in society right now is very difficult to raise children right now, and even to have pets, and even to have uh, horses. They're
I mean,
changing.
to be honest, to be fair, like what you're saying, I mean, like right now in horse racing, like you don't have to go anywhere really to even play a horse or play a track. And does that make racing for the fans difficult in terms of getting around to different tracks, or is it better for the sport just to be able to take your phone and just kind of be able to watch any track you want?
Well, yeah, I understand. Like I remember going to the Queen's Plates and the Triple Crowns, watching his Vestia and watching with approval, and the stands were full. The stands were full, and even you know uh, before all the technology came in, people went to the track. People went to see the superstars, you know. And I think the program of breeding, the sires are good that we have silent names, a really good sire, but we need more in Ontario. We need more superstars coming up, and we need to keep the superstars in Canada, and then a lot of them are going to the United States too, right?
I
So,
want to ask you about that. I mean, what's causing that?
well, it's money. It's big money. It's big money. I'm sure owners are getting offers from U.S. Farms are getting. I'm just my opinion. You know what I mean? I don't know the insides too much, but from what I've seen, I think a lot of it has to do with that, Derek. I think it's just the marketplace is global now. Horses are going to Japan. Horses are going to Australia. Horses are going to New Zealand. New Zealand's huge in racing right now.
And
Huge.
Japan is doing really well with horse racing. I
Absolutely.
haven't heard anything. I've challenged a few people about this topic before, and why is Japan doing so well? I mean, they've gathered so many horses from the states, and they're out there doing their business. And I'm not really hearing that the sport is dying in Japan. It seems to be booming actually.
Yeah.
Uh,
Well, look at the riders coming over. There's a lot of Japanese riders coming over into North America. We have one here. We've got two of them here, right?
Hmm.
Daisuke and Kazushi, you know, and they're very, very technical riders, very, very good riders. You ever watch Kazushi when he's got a horse, he puts his head down and he just
Yeah,
rides that thing.
he just
Like
rides.
it just you don't see many riders that do that. You know what I mean?
He
He's not
worked
a
really hard.
Oh, he works hard.
I
Absolutely, he's very.
remember when he was just starting out, and
Mhm.
I frequently go to the track and I hear some of the guys talking, and I remember it was one of them, and they were saying, they're a jockey, and the guys didn't know that these were the guys or this was the guy, and he would say, and they were trying to explain to the guys who they were,
Yeah.
and then I mean, I think one of them fell off their first mount or something like that. I
Oh,
don't even
really? Yeah.
remember, but they work really hard, and to see where Kizushi is right now is absolutely amazing.
Yeah, it is. It's funny. When he first won his first race at Santa Anita, I phoned Santa Anita. I ordered this huge 16 by 20 glossy of that, eh? And then he won his first stakes race, and then I ordered another one, and then I phoned Santa Anita when he won his first grade one. So I ordered like three. I got them here, three huge glossies, and that's just even with Sandy Hawley. He was my first ever jockey. I was enamored with was Sandy back in the day. He was a legend, and when he won the Legends race at Santa Anita a bunch of years back, I phoned Santa Anita and I ordered a big win photo
Oh,
of
wow.
he beat all Lafitte Pink Tie, Shoemaker, Eddie Dalahousie. I don't think Shoemaker was in that race, but Ella DeHousie and all the big American guys. So yeah, it was fantastic. So I just like doing things, memorabilia. I like collecting, stuff like that, and just it's a piece of the sport. I don't own one. Uh, it's a sport of kings for a reason. That's probably I don't have king money right now. So I enjoy, the opportunity of being able to, get close, get my license, hot walked with Willie this year, Willie Armada through
And tell me
Ironstone's
what was
connection.
that like after so many years, and now you've got a license to hot walk, and what's that feeling like, and
Oh,
what inspired you to go up there and do that?
well, I hot walked at Fort Erie years and years ago when my in-laws had the horses. So Ann Cameron was a trainer then, and I hot walked for her. I used to show up at Ann's barn at 5 in the morning. She didn't get up till 6, and she'd come into the barn and say, "Louis, what are you doing here?" And I says, "Ann, I have to be here." I was at her barn before she even woke up because I just loved working with the 2-year-olds she had, and she was getting them ready for the consignment sales in the 90s. And it was just, my ex was, well, my wife at the time, she was like, "What are you, nuts? You're getting up at 4:30 in the morning?" I said, "Yeah, I want to be there for 5, and
I
this,
want to
this,
ask you about that because I've spoken to many people who work with the horses, involved with the horses, and they say to me, marriages won't last if you don't have a lady who's beside you when it comes to the horses.
well, you know what? One thing about she knew my passion. Like she knew I came with it. It was in me. She saw me with her uncle and her aunt and how I interacted and try to help out as much as I could with the knowledge I had back then. And he was new to the business. So I was trying to help him out a bit. Yeah, it's just and then when I came home with a little winnings, she didn't mind that either. So, so
Don't get me started with that
oh
because
yeah.
I could probably cause some trouble right now and tell you that there's no female who's going to turn you down, turn you away, coming home with money.
Absolutely,
But you
absolutely.
come home without it, and that's the issue.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Yeah. Well, whatever you do, you young guys, don't ever go get another credit card without her knowing. And use that for your HPI account because she will find out. I'm telling you. So just a little from an old man, just letting you know.
That's the inside tip right there,
Yeah,
guys.
there you go. And the other tip is don't bet the horses. That's another tip. No, I'm just joking. Just joking.
Hey, speaking of betting the horses, someone already says Lou Hu Chairman Bubba or Bubby. I don't know what that means, but I guess somebody got some kind of inside information on you and Chairman. They say Lou
Chairman
Hu
Bob,
Chairman,
yes. Chairman
Chairman
Bob,
Bobby.
yes. That hard gritty horse that nobody gives any respect to. Just when it sets up for him, that horse comes running. And I love that little guy, man. And I actually won a big bet on him last year. I don't know if you want me to tell that little story
You
or
can do whatever you want, so
okay.
long as you don't.
Well,
You can
no.
do whatever you want. Just don't strip
Okay.
naked.
Yeah, okay, I appreciate that. Yeah, I was just sitting in my truck at the border waiting for my clearance numbers to go to Syracuse for the company I work for, and I saw he was out, and Michael David was on him, Danny D's son. So I was like, oh, Danny D, Michael, I got to bet Michael. That guy's got no fear, eh? So yeah, one evening in November, I think it was, he was at Woodbine, and I put some shekels on him, and the shekels paid off. And then he was out the other day, last week, and the same thing. It was like, I got to put some shekels on Chairman Bob, and he's in Willie's barn, so he always comes in late at night or late in the year. So, yeah, and some horses just thrive in the cold weather too, right? Some
That's right.
don't
That's
like to
right.
run in the summer. So they're animals. They're like us. They have feelings. Um, actually a horse in the barn, and he was doing very well. He was doing he was on the fringes, breaking the mating, and then his groom left. Uh, they went somewhere else. But the bond what I'm saying, the bond with a person and an animal, that after they left the barn, that horse was lovesick, just lovesick. And I told Willie, I says, that horse is lovesick. And he's like, really? You think so? I go, dude, that horse is not running like it should because he misses her. And guess what? It came around, weeks go by, and he's running better now. He's running better. So I really believe there is a huge connection when you spoil these things, these horses, not these things, these horses. When you spoil these equine athletes, their feelings are very deep. Willie talks to his horses when they're walking to the parade, and he's like, hey, puppy, and the horse is like, knows the voice. They know who you are. It makes them feel comfortable before the race. It's like I don't know, they call it the horse whisper or something, whatever it is. But
So just to be clear, so that if anyone is watching and they want to know who you're referring to as
oh,
Willie,
sorry,
you're referring to Willie Armada, right?
Armada, yes,
Oh, okay,
yes,
perfect. Just to
yeah,
clear the air, so people know, they can put
yeah,
some references together, so they can
yeah.
put it all together.
Yeah, Willie's been so great. He's a genuine guy. I love the guy. We've really bonded together, me and him. He's been so allowing me to come in through the Ironstone connections and being able to, keep walk horses. He didn't know me from Adam. And he didn't know my experience until he saw me walk, and then he was like, okay. But he still won't let me ride walk Ironstone. So, but
Can
I
you ride
understand.
horses too? You know how to ride horses?
No, ride? Are you kidding? No, thanks. No, they'll leave those for the athletes on top. No, all the exercise riders who are fantastic, and no, dude, not a chance, not a chance. I got to work the next day. I'm not. I'm not. I don't want to learn. I barely horseback ride. So yeah.
Yeah, I got you. I'm the same way too. So I'm
Yeah.
totally in agree with what you're saying. Now tell me a little bit about. I know you told me you had an experience with S1 Flores.
Oh.
Maybe you can share that story with us.
Yeah, I met him early in the summer. He was at the barn standing there waiting for to ride one of the horses and in the morning and I just saw him standing there and I just walked up and said, "Hey, you're S1, aren't you, Flores?" And he says, "Yeah." I says, "Nice to meet you." I introduced myself and we just started chatting. And just a very nice guy, nice kid and then I started doing some digging on his career and yeah, his California connections and then I just said to him, I said, "So you golf? You're from California, you must golf." And he's like, "Yeah, I golf." I says, "Well, let's golf one day." So yeah, we booked a an afternoon at Grand Niagara, not Grand Niagara, Niagara Parks. Went to the Battlefield Golf Course in Niagara Falls, and he met me down there, and we had a nice afternoon of golfing and just chatted and got to know each other. And, now we just talk on WhatsApp, send him best wishes on his races time to time. And I see him at the track. I go, "Hey, S1, how you doing?" And gives me the wink. "Hey, how you doing?" And that's it, So I don't want to, these people have lives and I'm not going to be like a stalker with these
Please
guys.
don't. Please
No,
don't.
no, no, no. I'm just friendly and I just want to make friends and just be around nice people and the barns are fantastic. Even Paul Buddige's barn, they're so helpful beside Willie and number 10 there. Those people are just so down to earth. So the other day, because of Chairman Bob coming in, I thought, let's celebrate. So I brought some pizzas down for Willie and Kurt and Daniel David was there. And I brought some pizzas down from this bakery in Stony Creek and they loved it the first time I brought the pizza. So they're like, "Louis, can you get some pizzas?" I said, "We're having a Chairman Bob party." So we ended up I bring some pizza down and we had a nice, before the post time on Thursday, we just had a nice, or Friday, we just had a nice pizza party, with
And what did you
everybody.
get? And what did you get for Chairman Bob? What did you get him?
What did I get financially?
No, no,
Oh,
no, no. You got pizzas for the guys, but what did you get for the horse?
oh, I went into the bulk barn. I got Scotch mints and I bought a box full because I started bringing them for Ironstone, because he loves the Scotch mints. And then I brought them in and Willie starts giving to everybody, and then they all get hooked on them. So I go to bulk barn. I stopped in the morning. I picked up a whole box of Scotch mints and you know what? It's Derek. It's not the money. It's giving back to the love that they give these animals and being the opportunity to watch these animals run for you, you know. Ron McNally said it the best when Go for Juan went down. He said it's so tragic that they give their lives for us, for the enjoyment of us. And they said that on the broadcast, and I'll never forget that when Go for Juan went down and they interviewed him. Yeah, it was just the same sentiment. I can't explain how much a horse means to your soul when you're like, listen, I'll tell you right now, I'm close to retirement, maybe a couple years. I told Willie, if I could live closer to Rexdale, to Woodbine, I'd be here every morning. You wouldn't have to pay me. That's how much I enjoy being there. It's not about the money for me. It's about just being around them. It just does something to you, Derek. I can't explain it. It's like having it's a, they don't talk back to you. You can rub them. You can, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
They,
I've heard the same.
they
I've
love to
heard the
see you every
same
day.
story, man. I've heard it from so many other people. It's just the
Uh,
same kind of conversation, man.
yeah,
And to be
it's,
honest, it's
it's,
a good feeling.
yeah,
For me personally, I've never mind getting up early in the morning and doing something productive. I mean, by the time 8 o'clock, 8:30 comes around, I'm exercising and I'm just happy to be out there in the air. I don't like it when it gets
absolutely.
too cold, though. I'll be honest with you.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Well, you're Bayesian, so you're
That's
you're
right.
not climatized. I'm
Yeah.
climatized to the cold. Believe me, I lived in Orangeville for years when I was a child, so that's
But
pretty high up there in the snow belt.
But off air, you told me,
Yeah.
you're pretty much Bajan yourself. I mean, you've been down there and you've bonded with the bottle a little bit, and
Yep.
so you've got a little bit of bread and cheese in you.
A little bit of bread and cheese. Yeah, I love my Mount Gay. I love my Banks and Deputy and all that, and my breadfruit and my buddy Rupert. My buddy Rupert. I hope you see this, Rupert. Yeah, I miss you, buddy. But no, my buddy Jari Seaton his parents have had a place there for years, and he took me down in '09, and I fell in love with Barbados. And he said, yeah, I just met some beautiful people at the Garrison. Love the Garrison. Spent many afternoons there. I haven't been to a Gold Cup yet, but I got to get to a Gold Cup. I had
Hey,
a
look,
very opportunity to go up to uh, uh, was it Michael Smith or John Tabor, and was it Sir Michael Smith?
oh,
His his
stout,
his
stout.
yeah, his farm. He has a farm that he actually built for his wife
Mhm.
for the horses. And I was able to go up. I forget where it was, a bunch of years ago, and I was able to go up and see that farm, and it was just incredible. Like this is a billionaire's farm, and I've got his trainer taking us up there, a bunch of us, you know. And it was just an experience. It was just beautiful. So I got kicked out of the paddock though at Garrison one time.
Why? Tell me that story. What
You want to
happened?
hear
What
that
caused that?
story? Oh
Yeah.
yeah. Well, us guys from Toronto, right? We come down and we just think we can rock across the track, no problem. So we get to the infield, and a friend of mine had a horse. A guy I knew there had a horse, and we wanted to see it in the ring. So we go walking out there, and we're in shorts.
Oh,
We're
I
in
see.
shorts. We're in shorts.
Oh, okay.
And we're
Dress
standing there
weird.
minding our own business, and all of a sudden we get over. An official comes over, and says, "You got to go out, out. you can't be here in the shorts." And I'm like, "We're in Barbados. What do you mean you can't wear shorts? You're flip flops and shorts every day." Like, you know what I mean? He's like, "No." I go, "Saratoga, yeah, I can understand, but you're at the Garrison, like we're on the island. It's island racing, you know what I mean?" So I had to be a good boy, shut my mouth,
Yeah,
and
I've
walk
never
off.
heard that before. So I'm that's pretty interesting. Pretty interesting, but something
Yeah.
for me to learn from. I make
Yeah,
sure
don't
I
wear
won't have
shorts in the walking
shorts
ring.
on.
Yeah, yeah. In the infield, don't wear when they're parading. No, no.
Hey,
So
Louis, we may go down there for Gold Cup in 2024. So
dude,
if I do make it, I'll make sure I'll let you know so we can all go down there, man.
you know what? It could happen. Yeah, I might be able to do a trip like that. I have a good friend that has a nice little neighborhood bar down there in Christchurch, and I just talked to him today actually, and I haven't seen him in a few years. It's been about 4 years since I've been to Barbados. I've been busy with my other projects that I have on the go right now. So, but I've got friends that have places there, Canadians that have places there, and they live there and they rent them, and just do the tours thing. So. But I miss all you Bayesian friends out there. Yes, I miss you all. I'll be coming. I'll be coming with my long pants. Yes, with my long pants.
Yeah, you make sure you got your long pants on, man. I want to
uh,
ask you a couple more
sure.
things about horses here, Louis.
Yeah.
Um, when it comes to horse racing, I'm just looking at my notes I got on the side here so that I can refresh my memory a little bit. And you mentioned S1 Flores, and you mentioned the story of Patrick. But tell me a little bit about Patrick Husbands, him being a jockey that you really admire. Tell me a little bit more about him and what he means to the industry as well.
Well, Patrick, yeah, I feel Patrick, from what is a very professional. When he's on a horse, he's professional, and I understand that completely because I've said hello to him, and he gives me that professional look, and I know he knows who you are, but you got to respect that. You know what I mean? He's there for business. I call him the Bayesian Pirate. That's my nickname for him. I'll be screaming him when he's coming down the stretch. Yeah, Bayesian Pirate. He steals another stakes race. Because he knows he rides. He loves to ride for the money. He's a big money rider. He really is. And I just his respect from when I visited Barbados and being around him. Real quick story. One day he bought a little cottage, a few cottages across from a Coconut Beach, I think it was, hotel, and he was fixing it up. So me and Jari walked down, and we went to see him, and he was busy gardening and getting the guys doing all the work, and we just sat on his porch. Me and Jari just sat for the afternoon, and I'm like, Jari, isn't he going to come over and sit with us? He's like, he's busy. He's busy. Let him do his thing. So when he came, finally, we were tired, because we went up all day. It started getting dark, and I said, Jari. He sat down with us, and I said, Jari, let's go, man. I says, yeah, I'm hitting the wall here. Like I gotta get going. We gotta get back to the condo. And then the next thing you know, Patrick's like, man, where are you going? Where are you going? I just sat down. Where are you going? And we were like, okay, I guess we gotta sit down.
And that was it.
That was it. We just started drinking rum and chatting and talking and then another time a few years later I ended up going up. He moved to Christchurch. He had bought a place up there, and I went in and just so full of respect. And I always had to bring him his Hennessy. I that was the entrance is to give him his favorite drink. So Patrick, sorry I said that, but I don't think it's a trade secret. I think it's not too much of a secret. He likes the Hennessy. So don't we all?
I hope a few people give us some thumbs up. Just for that mention. Give us a like for that.
That's it, man.
Yeah, he does love his Hennessy. Now tell me a bit about.
Sorry.
Sorry,
no, I was going to say it's about people. I love people. I love being involved with people. I love hearing stories. I just, it's just like I said, the jockey is a tough job. It's a tough job. I remember back in the 70s, my dad used to tell me stories about jockeys that they've met, and it's a tough life. It's not keeping that weight, their diet. Well, look at the young man that Jones, Slade Jones. The poor guy got tall. He just came in young, and then he didn't know what his body's going to do. And the poor guy can't ride.
I want to stop you short because these kind of words are messing with me because I'm saying I want to stop you short with references to the guy who just got tall, and ain't nothing wrong with getting tall, but I guess in the jockey world, you say the guy gets tall. I mean, there's lots of tall jockeys out there. I mean,
but it's a weight, right?
That I believe it's a weight.
I should have said that. Sorry, I apologize. I should have said the weight. I meant that tall and heavy. I didn't want to say heavy, So
a few people have already checked me for mentioning tall when it comes to jockeys. They say, "Look, Derek, you really got to cut that thing out where you talk about jockeys being tall." And I'm like, well, I mean, you don't see a lot of. I mean, it's a talent to be at jockey's height and do what they do. Very strong individuals, But Slade Jones is a superstar, man. But I love to see him come back to the track and ride races because I'm gonna tell you something. There's something special about him. He captures the media. He captures a lot of people.
Yeah.
And there's something special about that kid. So we'll see. I don't know what's gonna happen, but let's see what happens.
Well, hey, I hope so. He's had the greatest teacher in Jono. And his dad. So. Yeah, he grew up in the industry. So yeah, it's just the weight, it's too bad that, they have to weigh that type of weight, they couldn't be $165 like me, and then,
That's right. I mean, I'm complaining that I'm, if I'm 160, I'm like, shoot, I need to put 5 more pounds
put some up in it. Yeah.
That's what it is, man.
Yeah, absolutely. So
now I want let's continue a little bit more. We'll jump off in a few minutes, probably in 15 minutes or so. That cool with you?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. So for instance, we talked about Chairman Bobby and a little bit earlier, but what's the greatest horse who's ever been close up to and why?
Well, the greatest horse I've ever been up close up to, and why? Well, I'd have to say Ironstone. Ironstone, um, from the Melly and Bruno family. They they've put a lot of hard work and money into this business, and to find this gem they have at a sale for Mr. Speaker, um, was just, it's like lightning in a bottle. I remember Adrian phoning me one time and said, "Louis, you got to see this 2-year-old I have." And I watched the race and I was like, wow, yeah, you got a runner here, dude. You got a runner. And just to see his heart, I didn't get close like Sweet Marie,
Mhm.
maybe halfway, Derek, but Ironstone being this close, this late in my life, and getting a second chance with an equine athlete of this caliber. I wear my heart on my sleeve. So, to somebody else, he might not be, the greatest on the grounds, and I'm not saying he is the greatest on the grounds, but I'll tell you, the personality in this horse, the heart of this horse, and um, and the family allowing Willie to train this horse is just the commitment, the dedication, the trust in Willie to give him a horse of this caliber. It's just, I love the family, and I've been close to that family for 20 years. I went through a lot in my years of through personal reasons, and they were there for me. So I consider them family. They're two boys, and Adrian's two boys, and all the family. So Ironstone um, had a little setback this year, but they're taking their time with him, and I'm so happy. They're not rushing, and he's going to hopefully he'll come through everything and have a nice start this year before the end of the year as a 4-year-old. So yeah, that horse. Um, well, Windy Flyer, like I said in the beginning, the first ever thoroughbred. Um, that meant a lot to me. Sweet Marie definitely will always live in my heart. She'll always be there. I look at it this way, Derek. I will see them run one day again. If they're up there, I
That's right.
will. There's got to be a track of champions, you
That's
know.
right.
And it was like the first day I went to Gulfstream. I went to see this horse called Shilla years ago. Brian Cullen owned her when Tommy was alive, and she won the Fury Stakes, and Nick Gonzalez trained her. And Nick was so good. Nick Gonzalez was fabulous. And I got to Gulfstream off a cruise, and I had a couple days stay, and I went over to Gulfstream and I said, I'm going to go see Nick. And Shilla was there. So he took me in, and I went and saw Shilla in the back barn, and Nick was so gracious. And yeah, he was a great people like this, in the industry. Even in the morning workouts, I say hi to Kevin Attard and, hey, how you doing? And Mike Mattina and all these guys. And Mike Doyle's there, and I say hello to them, and they're all gracious, and nobody's giving you, like, who are you or anything like that. Everybody's a
And, you, and you're
family.
and you're always just friendly and personable. Do people ever think you're crazy? Because sometimes I talk and I smile and people wonder what's wrong with me.
Well, no, you know what I saw crazy? One day I was walking some horses. There was like 8 horses walking onto the track, and all of a sudden I see this guy comes with this overcoat, and he's like, his feet are hanging from the horse, and he's like, ooh, 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 and it's Patrick Husbands. He just riding his thing like with his long leather jackety chaps he had on. Everybody was just laughing, eh? He just made a beeline like through everybody, eh? And that's the fun. That's like, wow, man, look at this guy. You know what I mean? That's crazy. That's crazy.
That's
So,
crazy.
but
I want to ask
I'm
you.
hoping. Sorry.
No, I want to ask you
Yeah.
about a serious topic, and that's something that we discussed briefly. I think it was yesterday or something. But uh, can we talk, if you don't mind? Can we talk about the 2-year-olds? and we had a conversation. We say, we wonder if it may be a better idea if the 2-year-olds didn't run until they were 3 years old. Tell me your thoughts on that, and tell me why. Because I do know that some of the trainers and the owners, I
Mhm.
know they want to make their money back, and that's probably one of the reasons why they run them at 2. But
Mhm.
tell me your thoughts on that.
Well, as seeing things through the years, my experiences of horses running that young, to be honest, I don't think they're grown enough. I really feel that, and I'm no vet, I'm no doctor, but it's just life, you know. Um, I just, I just, I just think that they should be run as 3. I think we would have better older divisions if you ran them at 3. I think we need to have older divisions. We need to have championship divisions. Like the US had them, the big horses back in the day. You know what I mean? You had um you had John Henry and all these older horses that ran. Um yeah, I don't know. It's American racing too is speed and money. It's speed and money. And I love the European, like I love watching Irish racing. I love the mile and a half, mile and 2 mile races. Tommy Boyce used to talk to me about racing point to point, in Ireland. That's amazing. The stamina these horses have, and
And points for people who not familiar with what you're talking about. You mean like just from one stretch to the other stretch, right?
yeah, I believe it was like over 2 miles. Like they're running
Yeah.
4 miles. Like yeah, it was long. It was endurance. Endurance racing. So. But yeah, North American racing is it's we're built fast here, right? We're go go go. We're like ants, just
Yeah.
scooting around. You go on an airplane, you see the highway, and it's just ants on the highway, scooting around. So I think as 2-year-olds, I think for health reasons too. I think with the buck shins, a lot of them get the buck shins early. So I don't know. I just think growth and the body aspect of it. I just like to see them a little more mature, running, and then having like 4-year-olds and 5-year-olds running for big money. You know, um, yeah,
Now,
that's just my opinion. Just my opinion. I'm not,
speaking of older horses, I just watched a race yesterday, and it was fun watching it actually. A
yeah.
race at Woodbine, and there was that old horse, 9 years old, and he just blew them away in that endurance race yesterday.
Oh,
Don't
that
remember
was
the
yeah.
name. Don't
That was
remember the name
sorry.
of the horse.
Oh,
Pardon?
no, you're trying to remember the name?
I try to remember the name right now, but I just can't put it together. But
Yeah, I never saw the results of that. I know that there was a horse called Pride of Distinction
that's
that
the one.
yeah, he didn't win, did he?
He won at 20 or 22 to
He
1.
won?
He won.
Dude, I bet that horse every time. He won. I didn't even Derek, I gotta go. I gotta go. Dude, I gotta go. And you 20 Oh, are you serious? I
I'm
saw that
dead
he was
serious,
out.
man. 20 to
Dude,
1.
I can't
One of the viewers said, 20 to 1.
and I just said Pride of Distinction because I saw he was out, and I thought, oh, okay, I'll look at it later, and I never even saw the results. So good for him. I'm proud of you. Proud of Distinction. I'm proud of you.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
that's a very. I knew that he will run well. I saw the race before this one, and I said he didn't win, and he
Yes,
wasn't in the top 3, I believe. But I knew that he would be there
you
based on the race before.
you had to bring that up, Derek, because I
I'm
did bet on
sorry,
that
man.
race. Thank you for that, and thanks for not letting me know that he was out and he had a chance to win. So you owe me one, dude. You owe me one. No, I'm just
For sure, for sure. Oh man,
oh man.
that's the beauty of the races, and that's the For me, I was always competitive. So for me, horse racing just adds to it, right? So
Yeah,
I love competition, no matter what it
yeah,
is. If it's tennis, baseball, soccer, basketball, no matter what it is, right? I just love the competition. You know,
absolutely, absolutely. And even tonight, I got money on the Diamondbacks tonight, so against the Phillies. So I'm 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 riding the Arizona wagon all the way home to the World Series. So let's do it. So,
all
but
right. We're gonna end soon, but I want
yeah,
to get your word a little bit about the racetracks, and we talk briefly about the racetracks, some of the racetracks potentially closing, and the feelings across North America. We keep hearing the
yeah.
same stories, racing is, is at its end and all this kind of stuff. But for me, I'm mid-age right now, and I'm thinking, is it because a lot of guys who are getting older are saying that because they're at their end, or what? Or is it something else?
What do you mean? Like the old timers are?
Yeah,
There's
the
no
old
rail.
timers, they're had it, they've had enough of it, and they're saying racing is over. Is that what it is?
Well, I think the customer service aspect is not the same as the old school. The mutual clerks, there's all machines now. People need to be interacting with people, and machines just don't do it. When you go up to a mutual clerk and you put $100 to win on a horse, and then you come back and cash $400 or $500, they're like, "Hey, good for you. That's awesome." And that's where you get the customer service and the gratification of the adrenaline's racing, and they're happy for you too. They want to see you win. It's like my buddy was a casino dealer, real quick, and it's same thing. He wanted to see people win. He didn't want to see people take their money out of Niagara and go home broke. He wanted them to win their cards. So I really think the machines, the phones, have taken a lot of people away from the track. The track's trying their best, trying to navigate that and trying to market. Stella opened, so they're trying to get into Woodbine's trying to get into the younger market coming in, which is good. But the old guard is either get used to the technology and or just don't come anymore. I don't know. Tracks in North America. I know I frequent Arizona, and Turf Paradise is having issues right now. They're trying to uh, the owner there is trying to keep the horses at times, but there's also development that wants in too. So you got a track like that, which is like Fort Erie. Love Fort Erie. Going there tomorrow, actually. Really, and I'm going to see the last races there tomorrow. So yeah, it's hard on the horsemen because they don't know where they're going to go. What do we do with our horses? Do we go to New Mexico? Do we go to Arizona Downs? Turf Paradise closes. It's just the money needs to be sunk in. You got to make these places desirable for people to come. You got to put money into the infrastructure. You have to put into the infrastructure. So
So,
that's
so
just my opinion.
So I'm taking it that is probably a little bit of retooling, some
Yeah,
creative ideas, because
yeah,
I see even, like, for instance, sometimes on Saturday night, if I'm at home, and usually I'm at home a lot more now on Saturday nights, and I'm watching harness racing on TV, and I see they do like a light show and stuff, and the kids are happy. You can hear the kids screaming, and they're eating
yeah.
their hot dogs, and they're all happy. The parents can go home and sleep well.
Yeah.
Like, does racetracks need to do similar things like that? Things to keep the kids coming back. Because that's what it really is. If the kids are not happy, the parents got to leave. You got to go
Well,
home.
exactly. Yeah. And you know what? You got to make it into a family too, a little bit, family atmosphere, or even have a family zone, like they do at football games without alcohol, and just make a zone for families, and have horses come around them. Bring horses out to the family zone areas and let them pat them. Old ex horses, ex race horses and stuff like that. Yeah, it's you gotta make it, like I said, fan friendly, and you got to make it family friendly if you want to bring that demographic in. So, yeah, there's a lot of things, marketing, interest you can throw out there and just brainstorm. Lots of brainstorming. You know.
Well, Ian, I mean, sorry, Ian. I just reading Ian's messages. I'm saying, well, Ian,
Oh,
but
love you, Ian. Love you, Ian.
Louis, it's been a pleasure speaking with you.
Oh, Derek, this is fabulous, man. Thank you so much. I've never done anything like this before, and I just thank you so much for having me on. This has been a blessing, and God bless you, and God bless Barbados, and keep that rum flowing. Keep that rum flowing, and the sugar cane. Let's keep it going. So, but no, everybody in the industry, I wish you all the best in 23, 24, 25, and keep it going, Willie Armada. Keep it going, Willie. Love you, bro. Love you, bro.
All right, Louis. Thanks for coming on, man. Thanks for blessing the platform, and we hope to see
Yes,
you back again.
I love to.
It's been awesome talking with you, man. I
I,
really love this dialogue. It's pretty cool.
thanks, buddy. And you know what? You're a friend now, and I will definitely love to meet you soon. We'll get
Yeah,
together soon.
definitely. We got to make it happen. I'm at the
Absolutely.
tracks usually on weekends.
Okay.
I'm in the back stretch or whatever, and I'll make sure I don't mention pride of distinction. Okay.
Oh, I want to give a shout out to a beautiful winner the other day, Zana, who Willie had for the Zana, who won on the turf the other day. I hot walked her when she was with Willie, and what a beautiful filly she is. Just her demeanor and just beautiful, and the people that own her, Shirley and Tony, are just very nice people also. So I want to thank them for trusting me and being able to handle her, and to wish them all the best also. So
Well, there you go, and well said. So until we meet, man.
yes,
Thanks for coming on the platform, and thanks for blessing it. All right. Stay
awesome,
safe.
dude. All the best. Thank you, sir. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye. And that's my guy, man, Louis Mattina. When Ian introduced me, I was like, yo, I gotta meet him. And I'll tell you what, he's not disappointed. So you know what? With that being said, there's not much more I can say from here. But until next week, until next time, stay safe and be strong.